clicks. So here's an example of how much market share there is for the different search engines. And one reason especially I want to highlight this is because most often when I talk about everything, I usually say Google, Google, Google. And I'm not really neglecting the other search engines. We always like to focus on the top three, but we really only have two players. Google, 65%. Yahoo is now using Bing, so that is combined. So both Bing and Yahoo together are around 26%. So next, this is the most rapidly growing area of search. Search on the mobile, not just for local, but also globally. Not just searching for local products and services. As of right now, half of the connections to the internet are from a mobile phone. The number one access method for local information is, of course, now from a mobile browser and iPads. Next, I just want to highlight really a big shift that's taking place, and this is not static, it's continuing to take place as far as marketing allocation in different areas. The biggest shift is, of course, on the website. Everybody is going to your business's website for information. And so that's the shift we see taking place here at 64%. So this is a benchmark survey conducted for 2010, which really shows some of these marketing allocation shifts. Lastly, some of the areas that we see really declining are in the area of direct mail, broadcast ads, and print ads. All right, let's talk about the top things to avoid. First off, applying too good to be true strategies most likely is. If it's too good to be true, then that should raise a red flag. In the field, we have a lot of experience with this. We get to kind of hear it all. We have the luxury of working with a lot of great clients. And you know, if results are too good to be true or to get you ranked too quickly, likely it's too good to be true. Next, the let your developer do it approach. Or perhaps your nephew is a really good web developer and he's looking for a job. That doesn't mean you want to hand over your marketing effort. Not recognizing factors outside of your website. We'll talk more about this later because now it's a different ballgame. It's not, it's mostly factors outside of your website that are going to affect your rankings. Those put authority social bookmarks, backlinks, and we'll discuss that a lot more. Not budgeting enough to compete for pay-per-click. We'll discuss that more too. Not incorporating a complete SEM strategy. And lastly, setting up a Facebook page is not necessarily social media, and Ben will cover that a lot more. We're going to break this into the 6 topics. This is search engine marketing, Firstly, these are all the changes that have already happened and that will continue to evolve this year, next year. Firstly, local is not just for local. Localization is the ability to improve your search results locally. And this is great. Google has made a change which will deem certain keywords to be local or to accommodate and to serve business websites rather than informational websites. We'll talk about that more as well. SEO needs a lot of work. We'll talk about other strategies and factors that will affect and increase your SEO rankings. And finally, PPC is not for laymen. That means that you guys, you yourselves may have been getting the same free $100 coupon in the mail that I get just about every week now from Google. So it is very easy to just turn on a pay-per-click account and use that credit, but everyone else is doing the same. So there's very much a different way to leverage your Google pay-per-click account to really beat out the competition. Next, can you afford not to do social? At this point, not really, and Ben will cover that topic. Mobile. So we'll I'll cover some mobile statistics next. However, this has already happened. So we are not only optimizing to show up in search, there's certain things we do as part of our SEO campaign. They'll actually help maximize your visibility on mobile phones. In addition to that, is your website mobile friendly? We have the luxury of looking at a lot of analytics and statistics for all of our different websites from all different walks of life. And we're seeing it there. It's in the numbers. We're looking at analytics, and we're seeing the massive growth of hits and visits from mobile phones. So if your website's not optimized right now for mobile, you are missing that traffic. And they're hitting the back button, and they're comparing you against their website, against your competitor that does have a mobile-friendly site. Lastly, conversion. We have definitely mastered the art of consistently increasing traffic every month. So that's nice. But what if it's not converting? Conversion. So we're really including, most fundamentally, we want to include this as part of your overall SEM strategy. Why? Because if it's not affecting your bottom line, then you're losing all the traffic that's coming to your website. So the 1, 2, 3 rule, conversion, we call it the 3-second rule. And we make the changes so that we can assist and help with that conversion to make it happen. So the 3-second rule is, usually when you walk into a store, you've made up your mind whether you're going to buy something within a couple seconds before you walk out of that store and go to the next. Same applies to your homepage. If you don't have call to actions in place and other elements that are positioned in the right place, then you will lose that person's attention. So we like to consider that as part of our overall SEM strategy. This shows you some statistics. 25% of mobile internet users are now using the internet only from their mobile phones. And if you think about this, how many of us every day are sitting in front of our desktops and we're just so comfortable with their phones, we'll still even look up something from our phones when we're sitting in front of our desktop or laptop. That's that. Fun fact, depending on who your target audience is, we have some countries that are primarily using their mobile phone as their main device to search the internet. Such as in Egypt, 70% use their mobile to search. All right, top Google and Bing changes are really your opportunity. This is at the root of all of the most important areas to work on. So what changed in 2010? Lots of changes. Localization search results. Certain keywords are deemed local. This is great opportunity for you if you are optimized for it. If you are optimized for it, this Google update is rewarding businesses. Secondly, prioritizing Google Places. About 6 months ago, we heard in the field that there was a huge hiccup in rankings, and either it benefited some, or why did I call it the face of the earth? I didn't really change anything fundamentally. It's because a year or two ago, we didn't care so much about Google Places. We honestly didn't, because it was not tied into organic rankings. It did not affect your organic rankings. Google made the update, and we like this update because it's your advantage. It helps promote business websites. And the update it made is, there's a lot of spammy websites out there. The way I am going to deem your website as more of a priority website or an authority on the subject matter is how well grounded you are. In other words, how well your Google Places and some other areas and some other maps are optimized and populated that link back to your website. So that is very fundamental. And reviews are a part of that. We'll talk more about that later. Rewarding for authority. This is sort of part of that change. Google Places affects your organic rankings, and so does too associations and links from other social mediums and reviews. Caffeine instant preview. You guys may have noticed this. Preview boxes pop up. That also is sort of tied into conversion. Frequent indexing, homepage preview, and predictive search results. Sometimes it makes that pesky recommendation on what you're searching for. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. And lastly, yes, Bing Yahoo merger. Yahoo is still there, of course. It is using Bing as its search engine. Here are your opportunities for 2010 and beyond. Localization reviews are going to be continued to become more important. Here's a magic number for you. This is something that's not published. We have found through a lot of testing that there's a magic number of about 3 or 4 reviews for your Google Places that will actually affect your organic results. So if you think about this, about how well grounded your company is in your website, think about that. How many reviews does your Google Places have currently? Mobile optimization. Optimizing for mobile search. There are actually specific things we do as part of SEO that will help show your listing on an iPhone, for example. Become an authority. Stay well grounded. This I already covered with Google Places, but also sort of reputation management. Make sure your information is up to date. You are getting graded for consistency and relevancy. There are also free monitoring tools out there, so you may want to double check. The more grounded you are from different local places, the better opportunities you have. More content, more content, more content. We can't emphasize this enough. There was also an update recently which again rewarded the business. And that is, Google's considering websites to be more of an authority that specialize in the subject. So this update, I don't know if you guys have heard about this, about.com and such websites as that were heavily dinged recently, and that's why. Google figures, hey, if you're looking for heart surgery, it may be better to go to a heart surgeon's website than it is to about.com to learn about heart surgery. So that's another great update that you really have to take advantage of. And lastly, more social inclusion. So we really hope a lot of our enthusiasm rubs off, and we hope this is going to make you the office hero.